if I do have it in the house, I just like just keep drinking it.
What's stopping you from wanting to go to AA?
Like I'm not at the point of getting sick or anything, so part of it is just like it's not that bad yet. But you know what I mean?
It's like the gas light is on, and you're saying, well, let me wait until the car completely runs out of gas and I'm stranded on the highway for me to fill my tank up with gas.
Yeah.
Call from
Jonathan.
Hello?
Oh my goodness. I did not expect to get on. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Have we ever spoken before, Jonathan?
No, we have not.
Well, Jonathan, what's up, man? How can I get you today? What's happening?
Yeah, it's Saturday. I'm just hanging around my house here. I wanted to talk about alcohol.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah. It's very nerve-wracking to be on the call, but yeah. So I think I texted you a while ago talking about like alcohol consumption. So I think I'm just going to spill my brain out. So it's something that's kind of, I've been drinking age for about 7-8 years, you know. I never really drank before the age of 21, you know, like I know people did it in high school and everything, but I kind of had the upbringing where I didn't really know people were actually doing that. So the first few times I did actually drink, you know, I got super like nervous. But eventually I kind of started using it as like an escape mechanism. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, cause before if I got like, if I would get super stressed, for example, I was pretty good at like just dealing with it internally. But I think what I noticed over the years is I kind of use it as a stress response. I know that's like not the best thing to do. But it's hard not to. I think like I'm not at the point of getting sick or anything or like being an alcoholic. So part of it is just like, it's not that bad yet. But you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to go to AA meetings. But I think there are like, you know, like if I'm like way stressed out, it's an option. Where like I think part of it might be like it wasn't an option before. So because it's like it's a quick and easy way to get something off your plate, and kind of like get out of your head for a bit. So I think that is. So I know that sounds really standard and everything, but I think the main thing about it was it feels like I'm going down a path, and like I spent kind of half today kind of self-talking to myself, like, oh, because I have no alcohol in the house right now, and whenever I have no alcohol in the house, I kind of think, all right, it's up to you to not give in to buying more, you know what I mean? Because if I do have it in the house, I just like just keep drinking it and not really be self-aware about like, oh, you have work tomorrow, you probably should calm down, you know.
What are some of your triggers to drink alcohol? What are some things you notice are going on before you drink?
I would say boredom is a big one. Or like, because I don't have a lot of friends, you know, so boredom, or oh, I'm kind of lonely, let me just do this to like get out of my own head about it.
Yeah.
So I would say those two things. And I know like saying like stress response, like if there's like a stressful situation, I have to do some work. That's not really as much. It's more boredom, I would say. Like
Yeah.
if I actually have work I have to do, that's a good distraction, which is kind of weird. It's more like on weekends, I don't have anything to do.
Oh yeah.
How am I going to spend, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
I have limited free time.
What's that?
You know, I need to.
I think I've said it before. What's that phrase? Idle hands belong to the devil. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you know, I'll talk to you about this for a little bit. I don't want to talk too much, only because I'm not you know, I mean, it's a well-trodden topic, addiction, but I guess here's like, yeah. I've been there before where like you're just very lonely, and so you have nothing to do. So why not just drink? Damn it! I had a thought in my head that I fucked up. All right. What's stopping you from wanting to go to AA? Because I feel like that's a good place for you to find community and just like help, find other people who deal with this same issue.
That's a good question. Is that bad yet? maybe in my mind I'm thinking like it has to act like I have to get fired. I have to like, get fired from my job because of alcohol.
Well, I don't think it's a question of that bad. It's, well, hold on. I don't think it's a question of whether or not it's that bad. Yeah. It's really just a question of, do you notice that it's a problem in your life? Like, is it something you're worried about? Is it something that's bothering you? And if it is, then
no, it is bothering me. It's really
okay. Then if it's really bothering you, then it's something. Yeah. If it's bothering you, then it's something that I think is worth, dealing with.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess like because in my mind I'm thinking like it's not that bad yet, so I would be like wasting resources. You know what I mean? If I actually did do that.
No, you're not. I don't think you're wasting resources.
Yeah.
Because
and I guess
you just. I mean, bad or not bad, it's like it's something that you're trying to stop doing, and if it's something you're trying to stop doing, then. I think it's important to look at the different triggers for it, right? Like boredom, loneliness, and go, okay, how can I attack my boredom and my loneliness in such a way that gets me to stop drinking? I mean, I feel you, man. I have the same thing when it comes to eating or getting high or a lot of these other things. And it's really hard. I'm not going to sit here and say it's as easy as fixing your loneliness issue, because it's a hard fucking issue to fix. But I mean, I would have you what sort of steps have you taken to try to rein in your boredom and your loneliness?
I guess I just try to keep myself occupied, like with brainless hobbies. So I end up like watching a lot of YouTube videos and crap, like play video games. Loneliness is something that I haven't actually made very big attempts to like get over. And I think with that, like loneliness, I was not lonely during college, for example, because there were things to do and places to meet people. Mm-hmm. So as an adult, I think I just haven't found like a social group or something to like actually go out and do that. So I don't know. I'm also getting up in my age, so I would feel kind of weird because I live in a college town. So I would feel a little bit weird trying to go to places, and then there's people who are like 8 years younger than me, and here's the weird old coming to try to make friends with you. So I think part of that is like I'm afraid of coming off creepy in that regard. And I know that's like an unreasonable, like just saying that out loud, it sounds ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I think it's an excuse I tell myself for whatever reason. But I think that's like, I guess maybe it's just a lot of excuses. And I'm not trying to have like a, oh, woe is me kind of bit. There's that Norm Macdonald joke where it's like, oh, you have these bad diseases. My disease is that I drink a lot. I'm an alcoholic, So I guess like that goes back to like that, oh, it's not a real problem yet kind of thing. But I guess you mentioning, hey man, you should find support, I guess. But like, I guess like when you do seek support, maybe it's like, oh, you're not bad enough to get support. I guess, have you ever felt that before?
Yeah, of course.
And how do you like fight that?
100%.
Yeah, how do you like get over that?
But yeah, I think I think that actually is a common thing. But it's kind of interesting because like you'll go to whatever, maybe you go to a meeting and you're like, okay, well I'm not as bad as these folks, and maybe that's helpful in some way. But don't wait. I think the idea of like, let me wait until things are horrible to address the issue is bad. You know what I mean? Like as you're dealing with it now, and as you're aware of it, like, I mean, try your best to mitigate it. And I just sincerely, man, I wish I could be of more help to you right now. This is a problem I'm having doing this podcast lately. Is like, dude, like making friends as an adult and dealing with loneliness and boredom to not do your negative behaviors. Like I fucking don't know, bro. It's really hard. It's really goddamn hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard. But you gotta. I can't sit here and lecture you on how to do it because I don't fucking know how. But like, it's just what you gotta do. You know?
Yeah, I guess like drawing parallels between like other types of behavior.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not the only one feeling crazy. I guess that.
No, you're not the only. Life is crazy. Everyone around you is feeling crazy, and it's your. I guess just like thing you gotta figure out. You know. So
yeah,
dude. Like, best of luck. Like, whatever it is that you can find that keeps you occupied, so that you're not getting drunk all the time. Like, never give up trying to find it. Like, go do 8 million different things until you find it. Go take a fucking archery class and be like, all right, instead of getting drunk, I'm going to shoot a bow and arrow. Like, just anything that you can do to be out of your house, around other people, and not getting fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like, because I don't really have a reason to leave my house because I don't do anything.
Right.
You know, I don't have any like concrete hobbies or anything. So
right. Just leave your house, man. Like, I mean, today's Saturday?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What time is it where you are?
Saturday. It's almost 6.
It's almost 6? What's going on a Saturday at
I guess.
6? Dude, I swear to God, just anything. Like, go for a walk around your neighborhood. What city you live in?
I live in Columbus, Ohio.
You live in Columbus, Ohio? You just had to make this more difficult.
Yeah, there's nothing to do here. I guess I could walk outside. That's actually... Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll walk outside.
You could walk outside. It sounds great. No, because here's the thing: is it kind of even comes back to this thing of like, well, it's not that bad, so I shouldn't get help, right? Or you'll discount just walking outside. You could walk even in goddamn Columbus, Ohio. You could just go take an hour walk around your fucking neighborhood, and that's better. Even though it's like, oh, that's not even really anything. It's like, it is something. It's better than you're outside of your house. You're looking at stuff. You're not getting drunk.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good. I guess, like, with walking, that's, like, something I have tried walking before. And I think just to put it out loud to make myself more self-aware. Sometimes I do something that's healthy. And then I'm like, wow, I did something healthy. Time to reward myself.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
So I guess that's something I have to be self-aware about, just to say that out loud.
Sure.
But hey, maybe I just gotta do that, you know?
Sure.
Well, I guess, like, I don't know, just talking about it is helpful, to be honest, you know? Yeah.
Dude, I really would just, like, go sit down on your notes app or something, make a list of, like, as many things as you can possibly think of that would be nice and good to do. I don't know, man. They got pickleball leagues in Columbus, Ohio. They have concerts in Columbus, Ohio. I know you can meme on Columbus, Ohio endlessly, but they have stuff. They have people doing things.
Yeah.
Just come up with a list of like as many things as possible and just don't stop trying to get out of the house. And then let me know if that works. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea, making a list. Yeah. because just saying I need to do something isn't very helpful. I need to get concrete about it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good advice.
And this is good. This is good that you're at least trying to work on this instead. I think just the idea of let me wait until my life is in complete ruins to. It's like, look, if it's like the gas light is on in your car, and you're saying, well, let me wait until the car completely runs out of gas and I'm stranded on the highway for me to, fill my tank up with gas.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, and I think that's really good. I think the self-awareness is good. I think sometimes I do get into like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well just do things. There's a whole attitude that sometimes takes over my brain. Yeah. Yeah, and I wish I had an answer to you for that, because I mean, goddamn, yesterday I was eating dude, I really wish I had an answer for this, because goddamn, like yesterday I'm eating a whole pizza and going crazy because I'm like, the same thing you're talking about, like, why does anything matter? I'm getting existential about things. And I like, why should you give a shit about not getting drunk, and why should you try to do things with your life? Yeah, but like that does happen.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but you have like it's your something. I guess it's your like responsibility as a human being to like come up with your own answer to that question.
That's true. Yeah.
And if you think hard enough about it, as I'm in this moment optimistic for you, you'll come up with something.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for the optimism.
I'm optimistic for you, even though you live in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
What's your name again?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, is there anything else you want to say about any of this, or say at all before we go?
Thank you for doing the show. Seriously. A lot of people are big fans.
Thanks, man.
And I'm going to come to a live show eventually, but seriously, thank you for doing the show. It's a great comfort.
Thanks, man.
And thanks for taking the call. I really did not expect you to pick up.
Go join a fucking laser tag. I bet there's a laser tag. I'm dead serious. I bet there's a laser tag league. Like dumb shit. Like, dude, I'm talking like dumbass shit where you're like, there's no way something like that exists, and then you go online and it exists. Like, go join a fucking laser tag league in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. Somebody listening to this podcast right now is in a laser tag league in Columbus, Ohio, or knows somebody in a laser tag league in Columbus, Ohio. I bet that exists. Please go on Google and search for laser tag league Columbus, Ohio. Just like dumb fucking shit. Just anything, just anything.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, no. Okay, I think I'll take a look into that.
All right, man.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Lyle.
Take care, Jonathan, and good luck. Good luck.
Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I like that guy. I'm with him, dude. I'm with him. I get it. I mean, so, I'm touring a lot lately, and I've been touring a lot for the past, like, year and a half, 2 years, and it's been really great because it keeps me out of the house and occupied and not idle. And then what happens is I'll have like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or so off of doing my shows, and I'll be at home and I'll be like, oh no, now I have nothing to do, and I'm kind of paralyzed, and that's kind of when for me the existential thoughts come in of like, well, why the fuck should I not do XYZ destructive behavior, because I'm gonna die anyway, and who gives a shit? Why should I care about making my life better? Why should I care about this and that? And that's why for me it was hard to talk to Jonathan just now, because I have those same thoughts, and I haven't figured out exactly. I have like in theory how I'm gonna deal with those thoughts, but I don't have in concrete like practice of how to fucking deal with them. But in that theory, it's those things. It's like, why don't I just, join a laser tag league, or some other thing? Like, why don't I just keep trying to figure out different ways to get out of my house and go do things so that I'm not going insane and eating Haribo sour gummy cola bottles, which are the best candy. So yeah, good luck, Jonathan. Let me know if you figure something out. And I'm gonna search that up. I live in a major city. I bet they have laser tag leagues. Also, leaving your house costs a lot of money. I guess that's why walking is good, right? Because it's free to just walk around, and it's good. And I meant what I said to Jonathan, because I was having these existential crazy thoughts last night, and what did I do? I just walked for 2 hours. You can do that. Isn't that crazy? You can just, if you ever look, like, next time you're on the internet and you see a tweet that pisses you off or something like that, or a reel or something, you can, if at any time, you can just put your phone on fucking power it off and just go outside and walk for 2 hours. You can just do that anytime. It's available to you. It's free to just do that. And it's nice. It's really nice. I don't know. I'm rambling right now, but yeah, that call, it made me emotional because it taps into shit that feels very real. So I hope we get a call back from Jonathan, where he's the king of the Ohio laser tag scene. All right, thanks for calling. Attention, listeners of the Therapy Gecko podcast. I have new tour dates on sale right now at therapygeckotour.com. If you're a regular listener of this podcast, but you haven't been to one of my live shows before, you should come out, man. It's a fun time. The format of the show is essentially a group gecko therapy session where members of the audience come on stage to share stuff from their lives, just like they do on this podcast, except instead of anonymously over the phone, it's the complete opposite. It's anonymously, whatever the opposite of anonymous is, it's publicly in front of a few hundred people, which is a really cool and interesting thing to experience. And it's also mixed in with some presentations and material from me about my life. And I think that those presentations have been very fun and cool, so you should come. Tickets are on sale right now at therapygeckotour.com for the following cities: Nashville, Tennessee; Huntsville, Alabama; Chicago, Illinois; Milwaukee, Wisconsin; Detroit, Michigan; Grand Rapids, Michigan; San Jose, California; San Francisco, California; Portland, Oregon; Seattle, Washington; New York City; Philadelphia; Washington, D.C., Austin, Texas; Houston, Texas; Dallas, Texas; Greenville, South Carolina; Charlotte, North Carolina; Greensboro, North Carolina; Atlanta, Georgia; Pittsburgh, PA; Buffalo, New York; Toronto, Canada; Los Angeles, California; and Minneapolis, Minnesota. Once again, that's therapygeckotour.com for tickets. I hope you come to the show so that I can keep doing these shows every year, because they are very fun and sick. All right, thanks.
Call from
Richard.
Hello?
Oh my God, is this Lyle?
Yes, who is this?
You can call me Richard.
Richard, what's up, man? How's life?
You know, my life is pretty good, but I'm having some problems.
Well, hit me.
Well, I think I've developed an addiction to pornography. A pretty bad one.
Ah, okay. What, hit me with it.
Well, I find myself looking at videos very frequently, and I find it very hard to control myself. And it makes me feel very, very ashamed.
How often are we looking at videos?
Well, it depends. I've recently been trying to quit. I went for about 10 days, and then I relapsed. What type of videos do I watch?
No, I meant, I guess how.
Like, okay.
I didn't ask that, but it sounds like you want to talk about it. I said I didn't ask that, but it sounds like you want to talk about it. So I mean, if you do, go for it.
Well, it's not a very pleasant subject. I find it very embarrassing. I've been very desensitized to it. I believe I started pornography when I was about 14. My parents didn't let me use the internet a lot as a kid. And so I never really built up the tolerance to it.
How old are you now?
I am 20.
Mm-hmm. So I don't even know if you answered this. How often are you looking at porn?
About once a day.
Okay.
But I'm a young male, so I'm able to go for quite a while.
Okay, so you're looking at it once a day, but you're like for a long time. You're going like,
for an exceptional amount of time, yeah.
Okay, all right. And I mean, let me ask you this: where does the shame come from? Is it like, oh, I could have been doing something else with my time? Is it like a weird religious thing? Is it a, oh, this is gross thing? Like, what's going on inside of that shame?
Well, I see it as it's a waste of my time, obviously. But it's also what am I doing with my life here?
Yeah.
Why am I sitting here watching these figures when I could be out doing something? And that really eats at me because I feel like a loser.
Mm-hmm. It's weird, man, because look, I throughout my entire life and to this day, I've been, a crazy jacker-offer. Big jacker-offer. Big porn guy. Not so much on the porn recently, but big jacker-offer. And here's the thing, and this is something I don't think about that often, is that, like, I think in life, it's like, ideally, and this is not, I don't want to preach about this because this is not how I actually live. This is how I'd like to live in theory. But, like, in theory, ideally, you do things with your time that you either, A, are fully enjoying with no shame, or B, compound into things that, like, make your life better in the future. And, orgasm is a weird thing because it's like, you enjoy it in the moment, sort of, but if you're ashamed of it, it's like you're doing this thing that you didn't even really fully enjoy in the moment because you were ashamed of it. And, it's not like, when you are having sex in a relationship where it's like, okay, this is actually a thing I'm investing in that is compounding, in my relationship. So I get why you see it as a big fucking waste of time, and I look back at a lot of the time that I've spent doing that as a big fucking waste of time. I mean, just a few days ago, dick in hand, I was watching porn, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? So it is a tough, a toughie.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
It seems like another part of me takes over.
Right, yeah.
And
totally.
I can rationalize it, and I can think, what am I doing right now? And yet I still do it. And that's a big problem for me because I can't tell if I'm a bad person for it. I'm not intentionally... Okay.
What do you mean by a bad person?
For consuming this pornography, as opposed to going out there and meeting people and doing good in society.
Well, I mean, the whole thing of, like, bad person, good person, like, are you talking about, like, morally?
I suppose morally, yeah.
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would be sitting here. Look, I don't know if I would be sitting here, casting negative moral judgment upon you for, jacking off when you could be planting trees and volunteering in soup kitchens. But let's talk about just in the scope of, like, what's going to make your life more enjoyable. right? As opposed to like what's morally good and what's morally bad. I mean, what do you want to be doing with your life and with yourself?
Well, I'm thinking I might want to become a welder. I mean, the pay is pretty good, and there's all these different types, and it's a very interesting prospect. I'm not sure, though. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life.
Well, hey, you're getting better at polishing swords.
Of course.
All right, you didn't think that was funny, and it wasn't funny. But I mean, what else would you be doing with your time now?
I don't know. I have like no prospects. I mean, I said the welding thing, but I don't have a direction in my life. And I've tried all the time. I've gone to people. I've talked to like counselors to try and get me into a subject, but I have a hard time figuring stuff out.
What do the counselors tell you?
The ones that I've gone to and I've talked to, I'm talking about like college counselors. I'm trying to figure out classes.
Sure.
And I've like set a subject, like I'm interested in technology, but I also think a technical job is going to be outclassed by AI in a few years, and so I'm not sure if that's what I want to commit to. But I know welding is a thing we're going to need forever, you know.
Do you have any friends? Like, how's your social life?
My social life is pretty destitute. I mean, I'm a pretty isolated person. I live pretty far out of town, and I talked to people in high school, but I didn't like stay after class and do activities. And I haven't really had a lot of friends per se. I've had online friends, but that's a whole other story. But not like physical in-person friends. They're more like acquaintances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think a lot of this stuff is just like a lot of this stuff is just symptoms of other areas in life being like kind of lackluster. And it's a tall order to go, okay, well, go build a social life and go find a vocation and, get your shit together, right? It's a tall order that you never even really quite fill. This is a process. It's like a leaky bucket. I mean, okay, let's do that. Have you been to a real therapist to talk about any of this?
No, I haven't. And I think that I know it's stupid to think this way, but I think it would make me weaker as a person. That'd be kind of like admitting that I can't handle this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's illogical. Obviously, I'm not a weaker person for asking for help, but that's what I feel.
Yeah, I'm stuck, man. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you I haven't felt the same.
I mean, COVID made everything worse, man. It was my last 2 years of high school, and then I didn't get to see anybody for 2 years. So that just made everything worse. Accentuated the whole situation.
Why don't you? I mean, I'll tell you the same thing I told the last guy, man. It's like, why don't you just do things that get you out of your house? Do you live in a college camp? Do you live in a college place? Are you in school?
No, I'm living at my parents' house.
Okay.
That's fun to admit.
There's nothing wrong with that. What can you do to get yourself out of the house and with other people?
Well, I've been going to the gym. I've been talking with people there. I met an old guy there, taught me how to do some workout stuff. I mean, I was overweight for most of my childhood, so I was very socially stunted. Mm-hmm. I felt like I wasn't deserving of love, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm therapizing myself here.
Are you learning anything as you're therapizing yourself?
I think so. I think that experiences make the person, and I think that I need to get out probably more and meet more people and build my brain to tolerate people more, as opposed to just retreating into my safe space. Because I think that it's probably a comfort thing, right? Where I do it because I'm stressed, and I feel like this is the only way to unstress myself.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it really fucking goes back to what we were just talking about, of like, you retreat into your comfort zone because you get those existential thoughts of like, well, what's the point of like building my life or making it better? And everyone has their own way of getting past those existential thoughts. Some people go through life lucky enough to never have any of that shit pop into their brain just because of things magically worked out. And other people struggle with it immensely and never figure it out. But, I mean, you just gotta find your own reason to do it. And you're so young, it's like, just to leave your house just for the sake of leaving your house. I mean, you give a shit enough to call me and want to talk about this stuff, right? So
yeah, but like, my life should be improving. I've lost 60 pounds. I feel better, and yet I don't feel better. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. God damn it, I don't know either. This is a struggle today, because I it's like, how do I feel right now? It's like, bro, fuck, man, fuck. Just get out of the house, man. Just get out of the house, however you can. Just go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Well, that supposedly makes you happy, according to the internet, so maybe that's the solution. Just get out there and walk more. There's a few trails near my house. Maybe I'll do that.
Dude, I'm going to drop something here real quick, just for the listeners, and people have, this might be a controversial thing to say, but I've actually been getting a lot, this is real, like, I've actually been getting, like, a lot of mileage off of typing my problems into ChatGPT. ChatGPT is like a crazy good therapist. I don't know if you've ever given that a shot, but it actually does come up with like pretty fucking, like, if you can't afford therapy or like you just need something right fucking now, it actually, and I've done this is kind of just what I do now, it actually gives you pretty good objective, logical feedback if you need just a little something in the moment.
Well, that's how its system works. It just takes information from the internet and compiles it into a coherent answer, right?
Something like that. I don't know how any of this shit works, but that's the therapy Gecko saying, have you tried asking ChatGPT instead?
That is so dystopian, asking an AI about your problems.
Bro, it's so weird because the AI, I mean, you're talking to me right now, and it's like the AI works better than a human sometimes.
Well, it doesn't have that human element, and it's just purely logical, so maybe it would be slightly better at stuff, but that's a dark road to go down, thinking about like that. Because we need humans for a lot of stuff. That's what the companies are thinking whenever they do those robocalls things, where you call them up and you need to talk to somebody, but it's just a robot.
Yeah.
It gets rid of that human element.
By the way, I'm sure people are going to get mad at me and be like, well, you're telling people to put their... I'm just literally saying, this is my personal anecdote of this shit. But anyway, I mean... Well, all right, before I kick you out of here, I mean, is there any other way that this phone call can be helpful to you before we go? Anything else that maybe I can try to help you with?
No, but I do have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're interested in losing weight at all, Lyle. I don't think you are. But if you are, or you just want to feel better about yourself.
Okay.
I'm not doing like an ad read here or anything.
Do an ad read. I was doing. Go, what's up?
Do an ad read. I'm not. Yeah. Well, this is just my experience, what happened to me. I tried the carnivore diet where you just like eat meat and you only eat salt and butter. And I lost 60 pounds and I didn't even really work out. And then I started to work out because I felt better.
I mean, it's the ketogenic diet. I really don't want to talk about this shit on here because I do not know what I am talking about even in the mental health realm, let alone in the physical health realm. But I mean, yeah, when you eat just protein and no carbs.
I'm just saying it worked for me.
When you eat when you eat all protein and no carbs, you will definitely lose weight.
Yeah, it was good. It was like, regardless, I thank you for talking to me, Kyle, or not Kyle, Lyle. I really appreciated it. I needed someone to talk to.
Good. I hope this was helpful because I've said this 1,000 times, but I really am having a hard time with like these advice. How do I deal with the woes of life calls? Because I really struggle with it all myself, and I don't know. But I hope this commiseration was helpful in any way, shape, or form. What's your name again?
You can call me Richard or Rich, either one.
Rich. Thanks for calling, Rich. Good luck.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, man, it's hard because I really do. I think of this podcast not really as like a advice show. Like I look at it more as like a human interest story show because I'm more interested in having people come on here and I'm like kind of learning about their lives and like what's going on with them and like experiencing the world through these quasi-anonymous just accounts of life. Like I think that's interesting. That's more interesting to me than like here's advice from a guy who fucking has no idea what he's doing. But I mean, I'll try my best. I'll try my best and just ruin people's lives by telling them to take the advice of an AI computer. But yeah, whatever, man. Thanks for calling. I hope everything works out.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. So this is just real quick, I'm going to give some context. So I don't usually do this. In fact, I've never done this. But I'm going to do this right now. So this is Maeve, right?
Yes.
So this is my first, I have 4 years of doing this show. This is my first intentional follow-up call with a previous caller. Maeve, you're the caller who a few weeks ago talked about how you were thinking about whether or not you were going to date this felon, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how did that go for you?
Okay, so we were talking on FaceTime. This was one of the first times we really FaceTimed, and he had his shirt off. And out of nowhere, on his shoulder, I see a goddamn swastika tattoo. And so, obviously, I was like, hey, is that what I think it is? And he was like, yeah, I did it to myself in prison. And I was like, okay, I can't do this. And he tried to say, no, it's not what you think it means. It's a Norse mythology symbol that the meaning was taken away, but it means brotherhood and all of this stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't care what you think it means. That's just not okay.
That's almost as bad as the Monster Energy tattoo.
It is. I agree with that. It's close.
So, real quick, are you going to keep dating him?
No, of course not. I blocked him on everything. Absolutely.
Well, Maeve, thanks for giving us an update. I hope that you find somebody with find a guy with a nice Mickey Mouse tattoo or something.
I agree with that. Thanks for following up.
All right, take care, Maeve.
You too. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Amy.
Amy, what's going on, Amy? How can I be a lizard on the phone for you today?
Okay. I'm really excited because I didn't think that you were going to answer, so I'm very nervous.
Nah, don't be nervous. We're just two human beings. Well, I guess you're a human being and I'm a lizard, but we're just talking on the phone, man. What's up?
Okay. All right, so I wanted to talk to you about something because I kind of wanted a little bit of advice.
Okay.
Okay, so you had gotten what I had texted you, right?
No, I have no context. Let's start from nothing.
Okay. So I feel like I have a little bit of an issue. And my issue is this, okay? So I feel like I've been through a lot in my life, okay? Like I've kind of had a little bit of a hard upbringing. It's very difficult upbringing. And I feel like because of that, the way that I behave in my relationship dynamic is really detrimental to the possible like success of this relationship. I feel like I sabotage things sometimes. And I kind of like self-diagnosed myself with like a potential mental disorder of like a plethora of them. But obviously, you know, I haven't went to like an actual professional, so I don't know if, you know, my diagnoses are correct. I'd assume they're probably not. But I guess my question is like, how could I be less problematic in my relationship dynamic so that I can have one that is healthy? Because when I get in moments where I feel like I'm being overly emotional about something, it's hard for me to like rationalize like actually approaching a situation in a healthy way, and I usually just take the negative road. So
listen, so I'm happy to talk to you about this just as a random stranger on the internet, but before I do talk to you about this, you know, within that context, have you say that you've like self-diagnosed yourself with a mental disorder. Like, is this something that you've talked to like actual like therapists and psychiatrists about?
So I have went to a therapist once before, and he was not like, he was pretty terrible. Like, we just didn't really, like, I was trying to explain to him like all of these destructive behaviorisms that I have, and he was just not, he was like not acknowledging them, and it made me feel like he kept, like, how do I explain this? Like, he kept making it seem like the things I was bringing up were things that were like not a big deal, but like in my head I was like, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm not being the best partner, and I'm very much so aware of that, and he's you know what I mean, and it was kind of like brushed off like now.
So you know what? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm down to talk to you about it, but I just wanted to make sure that you know I am not the first line of defense.
Oh, totally.
Okay, so I mean, what are these behaviors that you say are destructive to your relationships?
I feel like sometimes when I have a situation where we are like not seeing eye to eye, I feel like I become like overtly emotional about it, and instead of me understanding like his perspective, I feel like I'm being very vague. Instead of me understanding his perspective, I like kind of create things in my mind that he is potentially doing towards me, but I don't, it's like, it's not that he actually is, it's just I'm so overtly emotional that I'm jumping to a bunch of conclusions in my head.
Sure.
And then those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then those conclusions seem like real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Look, the reason why you should talk to a real therapist, and I'll like we can talk about it, but the reason why you should talk to a real therapist is because like a real therapist will probably be able to tell you, like, okay, you probably feel this way because of this thing that happened. I've seen this 100 times. Here's what you should do based on the research that I have on this, blah, blah, blah. So you should do that. But, I mean, from my dumbass perspective, it's like, if you're jumping to conclusions of what you just can't conclude what another person might be thinking or feeling or planning or any of that stuff. All you can do is talk to them, and if you want to choose not to believe them or to believe them, it's like, I mean, all you can do is communicate with this person, right? So if you think that this, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Do you think that, like, okay, so like how you had just said, like, if you don't believe them, right? Like you ask them and they're like, I'm not doing that, and you're like, in your head, you're like, yeah, you are. Is that like kind of a little? That's like a little weird, right? Because like you should be able to. Like, how am I going to be able to tell someone else if they're being honest or transparent? It's not like I'm a mind reader. So, like, why would I assume that they're just lying to me?
You know what? That's an interesting thing to think about. I kind of think a working theory with this is like, look, because it's all on you, right? I mean, you can't control other people, whether or not other people are going to lie to you or not. But you can be like, look, I'm going to decide for myself that I'm going to believe what this person is telling me at face value. And if I find out later that this person was lying to me, I accept that as a risk of my decision, and I'm making this decision because I think it'll make my life better, and because I know what it's like in the past to have been walking around not trusting anyone, being super paranoid, and not being able to trust anyone, and I don't like how that made me feel, and I don't like that lifestyle. So I'm gonna decide to be less like that. And if I find out later that I was wrong, I accept that as a risk that I'm willing to take because I want to be less paranoid and I want to be happier and have less anxiety. That's just a theory that I have, and I don't know if if what I said just resonate. I don't know if what I said resonates with you, but if it does, that's kind of how I think about it.
Yes, that actually does. That was perfect, because the reason why I feel like what you said was like spot on is because this morning I tried to start some bullshit, right? So like we got into an argument last night, and I wanted to roll it over into like the next day and like kind of like start where we left off in a way and continue on the bullshit. And so what he had said to me was, okay, like you're like essentially like you're starting this day off already shitty. Like you're choosing to start this day.
Can I interject for like a second? So like when you like very very briefly tell me what was the argument about?
It's so stupid. Okay, so it's so fucking stupid. All right, so basically we had moved into a neighborhood, and I have social anxiety. And so I kind of wanted to, like, meet my neighbors and stuff like that, but I kind of had a plan on how I wanted to introduce myself, and it was, like, an inclusion with him. Like, I was like, oh, maybe we can get some cupcakes and, like, bring them over and say, like, hi, my name is this, my name is that, whatever, and, like, we can form a bond, right? So basically what had happened is he had met the neighbors like without me, right? And so my feelings were hurt because now I felt like, oh, he has cultivated a relationship with these people, and instead of us going with my idea, he took it upon himself to go and like introduce himself and meet these people without me. And so I kind of felt a little bit slighted. My feelings were hurt. And so like yesterday specifically, he was like outside, like doing yard stuff, just like normal shit. And the neighbor, he was like talking to him and stuff like that, and they were all like, you know, going back and forth and talking, and I felt really left out. Like I heard them talking, and it like hurt my feelings, and it brought up the same anger that I had the day I found out that he like went and introduced himself without me. And I don't know, dude, like I was like sitting there and I was like feeling how I felt, right? And I like I was getting hot, and like my heart was beating all fast, and I felt really angry, and I didn't know why. Like I felt like maybe this is like a trauma response from like when I was younger, maybe feeling like left out or like excluded or like being alone. Yeah. And so like I'm kind of trying to like navigate that shit right now, because that's what I feel like is being triggered. But I know it's stupid.
So, I have a couple thoughts on this. It's like one, when you made that decision, I'm gonna roll over this argument. Is like I think anytime you're like in an argument, like if I were you, I would think to myself like, what am I trying to serve right now? Because like if you're in an argument and you're screaming at somebody and you're like, let me bring this up, let me bring that up, let me bring that up. Like a lot of the times, like if you really examine it, you're serving your anger. You're just serving like vindication and anger, which is not actually helpful to you in your goals. Because really in this situation specifically, your goal is to like, you want to overcome your social anxiety because it'll make your life better. And I do think you know, this thing of like your husband like introduced himself to the neighbors without you, and like, you know, you're in your, and I feel for you, because in your head you recognize, you're like, this is ridiculous. Why do I feel this way? I feel bad that I even feel this way. And I think that's a good thing to recognize. And on top of that, just recognize that like, okay, my journey to overcoming my social anxiety is my own responsibility, and it's not my husband's fault. Like it's on me to be like, okay, I gotta summon the thing of like, let me just go over there and say what's up to my neighbors. Like, and my husband is not in between me and summoning the courage to go do that. And so I think just breaking every fucking thing down into what is my goal and what's going to help me get there, and everything else is complete fucking bullshit. You know, everything else is really what's in the way. It's not my husband that's in the way. It's like me trying to serve anger and vindication and all these things by like yelling or bringing arguments up. It doesn't actually serve my real goal, which is to overcome my social anxiety, to make my relationships better, and to be happier. And when you when you frame it and you're talking to your husband and you're saying all these things, you're like, okay, what's actually gonna make my life better? And what's gonna make my life better is figuring out how am I going to summon the courage that's needed to go next door and say what's up to my neighbors. And when you're sitting there like yelling at your husband because he went and, you know, introduced himself to the neighbors without you, it's like you're so far off from where you actually want to be to serve your goals. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Does that resonate?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting. I feel like an asshole.
Well, does feeling like, even right now, like, does feeling like an asshole serve your goals? Or is it just going to be you beating yourself up further, which will get you further into your emotions, and then you'll further, you know, go into vindictiveness? Like, you know what I mean? Like, like beating yourself up. Does beating yourself up serve your goals of improving your relationships, being happier, and overcoming your social anxiety? And if you,
Yeah, no.
I think the answer is no. So
Yeah.
I would just every step you take moving forward, be like, okay, how is this going to serve my underlying goals? You know?
Yeah, that actually that's yeah, that was really good advice actually. Yeah.
Well, is there that was cool. That was actually one of the first times in a while I felt like I gave good advice on this podcast. So I'm stoked about that.
I listen to you all the time. You give great advice. I had no idea what this call was going to be. I didn't have any expectations. I didn't even know if you were going to call me, but that was great advice. Yeah. You do a really good job just in general, but like this was very helpful to me.
Thanks, man. I'm trying. I felt pretty locked in just now.
Yeah, you were locked in. Yeah, you were.
I felt pretty locked in. I felt pretty. All right, cool. This was actually almost. I think this was actually even more helpful to me than to you. So thank you for calling me. Is there anything else you want to say to the people of the computer before we go?
No, I don't have much to provide. I just think that, I don't know, if I were to give anything, it would be like, I don't know, just don't let your negative thoughts consume you, I guess. Sometimes we're really far off with like the reality of the situation. I don't fucking know. Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, take care and good luck talking to the neighbors.
Thanks.
All right, take care, man.
You too. Bye.